So, I'm going to lead with, what are Otherkin? Are they furries?
No. Are they?
No. Otherkin are not just the upgrade of furries. What Otherkin is like the belief that you are in some way a non-human creature.
Mm-hmm.
There are different schools of thought as to where this comes from, and all of them are wrong except me.
Okay.
Obviously.
Yes. All right. So, the most popular school of thought by far is that it happens when a non-human thing, usually an animal, is reincarnated into a human body and has like carryover memories and stuff of like being that animal, and like they feel really closely connected, like a half-baked cookie, you know, that's still dough at the bottom, and that dough is an animal soul.
It's like and they have like the little Christmas cutout cookies that you have. You place them in there and you do it in a human shape.
Yeah.
But it's animal dough.
This is wrong because reincarnation is not real.
Hot take.
Damn. Hard stance.
Nearly all examples of things that Otherkin believe are some form of belief in magic, including this one.
Yeah.
Including this one. Some lesser known things are like strong aesthetic affiliation or psychological attachment to, or brain defect that makes you think you are a something. It is the most common Otherkin experience is some kind of like dysphoria at being human and having like phantom limbs of whatever it is that you see yourself as being, or etc.
Like a funny tale.
So are you saying that's like a thing that you really feel, or is that a thing that people feel because they're mental?
I will say that this is a thing that you really feel.
All right.
Yeah. This at the very least.
This is not something that you make yourself think you feel.
Right.
Okay.
So there's layers of accuracy to reality.
Or rather, something that you make yourself feel.
Yeah.
Because you think it would be cool to feel that way.
Something that's not controversial whatsoever is that Otherkin do have some kind of phantom limb experience that doesn't match their actual body. Okay?
Yeah.
That's not really up for debate. That just is the truth. Okay? As you...
Excuse me.
Demerit. I said it.
Demerit. This is a seminar. Fuck off.
The next tier is like, well, so you feel like you have a tail. What do you do with this information? Most people...
Draw furry porn.
Demerit. Most people mentally attach this to some archetype animal. This is not going to be a thing that Otherkin themselves enjoy watching, because I will be constantly contradicting things that they believe, because they are wrong.
Agree.
Yeah, but they're not 100% wrong, which is why my opinion will make nobody happy.
It's making me happy.
This is my skill. This is my truest, deepest skill, is forming opinions that displease everyone.
Yeah.
So, like, souls are real, and you do not have an animal soul.
Right.
No one does.
No, not even the aminals.
Right.
So there's no like human soul. It's just soul. It's just a generic thing.
Okay, so you do have a human soul. There is a difference between a human soul and an animal soul, but it's kind of like the difference between grape and strawberry flavoring.
Okay.
You can tell
those are different berries.
Yeah, but they're not even berries. They are like synthesized chemicals. The point that I'm getting at is that it's like a vial of goo, and it tastes different whether it's a strawberry or a grape, but that's basically it as far as we can tell.
Yeah.
All right, and by we, now we're getting into some lore. Okay?
Doesn't taste different
So
if
it
it's
has
in a
qualitative differences, not not conceptual differences.
Yeah, there's no if there's a functional difference, we haven't found it.
Yeah, because the function is not changed as to whether or not the goo is in a vial or in a cup.
Yeah.
So it's not like men and women. It's like black people, white people. There's not like a real difference. It's just like textural.
The difference,
It's all
as far as
surface.
we can tell, is largely meaningless.
We have any follow-up questions from the peanut gallery?
Yeah. What we got, boys?
Nothing.
You guys there?
Nothing.
Fucking say,
All right.
just say
All
no.
right. So I've said we a couple of
Starman
times.
there? Is Starman there?
Yeah, he's mowing the lawn. He's muted and
No, that was
No, that's
Simon.
Simon.
That was Simon.
whatever.
I'm here, I'm chilling.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Sure. Proceed.
Okay. So I've said we a couple of times so far, and we in this context refers to me and the boys from back in the day. I had previously been. It's a largely disbanded group right now, but I had previously been Saint. Previously been a guy who was in a group of people who were like, hey, souls are probably real. Let's see what you can do with that. Are they, like, what are they made of and what can you do with them? And,
Soul scientists.
yes, literally spirit science, except not just the ramblings of an insane man, but like a group of people who are actively investigating something with a little bit of scientific rigor because some of us actually cared about, like, the bookkeeping and shit. And it's not like when you happen on a discovery back in the day, you would say, hey guys, what if this seems to line up with something that I discovered? And
Yeah,
there
it
would
wasn't-
be like a battery of tests over multiple weeks to determine whether or not that thing.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. It was spirit science in the sense that it was a scientific process involving
Yes.
spirit shit.
Yeah.
Not in the sense that it was like a version of Christianity made up by Star Trek fans.
Yes. Actual science, as in, like, here's an idea of how it might work. Let's ask some questions about that we can test, and then come up with as many tests as we can to rule out or to confirm and to disconfirm all of those individual things. All right.
What
Just
Tarbuck
like-
is trying to say is that he claims to have astrally projected at some point in his life.
Don't astral project.
Yeah.
Astral projection is bad.
Yeah, see how he didn't contest it? Yeah. He immediately gives you
It
a
is-
follow-up in case
Alright.
you try to do it.
So it is technically true from certain people's perspective that is a thing that I have done. However, there's like little term differences. Oh yeah, that's another thing. Being giant nerds, we named everything after like video game and anime shit. So
Yeah, so
like,
what did you call the projection?
so
Full dive?
there that didn't exist yet. It was 2005.
Oh, yeah.
There's no invertia moves.
Well, hey, the first light novel had come out.
Okay.
So if you were true...
Yeah, that was off
you
of my
would know.
radar.
Yeah, fake
so.
fan. Fake fan.
So, astral projection is when you, like, take as much of your soul as you can and you put it out of yourself and, like, fuck around. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And this is bad because your body is full of, like, defenses. See, because your, like, the soul, etc., is physical. There are physical things that you, like, that are just in directions that you don't see. My explanation for this is the Predator. Okay. So, in the movie Predator 2, there is a scene in which the Predator, like, they throw out, like, a chaff grenade, and, like, it's disrupting the Predator's visor, and then he switches visors until he can see. And every time he switches, it's like, this is a thermal vision, this is an X-ray vision, and so on. It is like that in that there are like a stack of maps on top of each other, and where you are in one of these maps, you are in all of these maps. And when you move, you are moving in all of these places at once because it is just the whole universe, but you can only see like a part of it.
Yeah.
You dig?
Yeah, the different spectrums aren't like different planes or whatever. They're
Yeah. Because your average pedestrian understanding of what dimension and like universe and shit means is all like science fiction bullshit. That is not how dimensions really work. Dimension means direction. So, like, that way is a dimension. That way is a dimension. And these are different dimensions because they are perpendicular to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that's my stack of maps explanation. By learning senses and stuff, you can switch the lenses on the predator mask and like see different shit in the same physical space.
You see different bands of frequencies.
Yeah, kind of like that. We limitedly understand what that does, but it's hard to test because it's not like I can reach with my hand in that direction. Although I kind of can see because your body has like this sort of deal in the middle of it. This is like a map of the core anatomy of what a soul is and how it works. All right, so
it's like a cytoplasm.
So they look like little suns. Okay, you got.
Are they colored, or is that just the color you have?
They are colored. The colors are apparently meaningless, but they are different, and they are consistently different. Like
yeah, I mean they're just relative frequencies.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's like M&Ms.
There's a lot of stuff about like spirity things that don't make sense if you know science, like how there's not really a sense of distance in the conventional sense. So like, why can you perceive things at the same resolution and accuracy over any amount of distance? That should not be possible because your eyes, your like punchable perceptive organs in your punchy body can only see by focusing light, but that does not appear to be how sensing things with the soul works. How does it work? No idea. We're working on it.
You didn't get that far?
Only we're not actually working on it because half of these the other thing is the further out you look in like deeper layers, further out layers, at first it's all like normal. Like this table is here. This table is here and a bunch of other layers too. But as you go further and further out, there gets weirder and weirder shit on those layers. And on the further layers, there's stuff living there that is not here. Kind of like the Upside Down in Stranger Things.
So this is on different frequencies, or is this different places, like physically?
No way to tell. The equivalent of this, the Predator thing, is kind of like turning your head in a direction you can't really perceive.
Okay.
But what that action corresponds to, you have no way to know. And we're...
So you're turning into, like, different dimensions, but not necessarily in order.
We don't even know if we are, like tilting our vision, or if we're doing this.
Like
panning. Is it different planes, or is it tilting? No idea. Are you looking at different cross-sections of reality? No idea. That kind of thing is hard to test for, because if I take this and I just move it, all of the versions of it on other layers move with it too. But if I pick it up and I desynchronize it, like that, okay, it is here. Half of the versions of it, like I just picked a number, it's not actually half.
Yeah.
Some number of versions of it are still here. What does that do? Unknown.
You better make sure you pack that up before you leave.
It doesn't matter. It's a marker. Who cares?
All right.
It's not a person. It's not a living thing. When you do that to a person, like if I were to stand here and then leave like my soul body here and then walk over here, that would have an effect. That is what astral projection is. Your body is in one place and your soul is in a different place.
All right.
Okay. We should silence that. That's really annoying.
Intermission.
It's an intermission to a dance.
'Cause I feel I can always show my everything to you. If this moment
Oh God, don't
for
fucking
me,
break my dad's desk, dude.
I try to hear, lend my ear.
Okay. All right.
Oh shit, she's here.
All right.
You
well,
catch up late. Just pay attention.
we'll fill you in later. Just go with it. All right.
Wait, you're watching the stream, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah. So basically,
Welcome to the
Tarbuck can astral project, but furries are still retarded. So that's where we've gotten to so far. Okay, continue.
All right. So, what this is right here, you see you have a person who's outlined in black, and then you have a blue version coming off here. This is desynchronization. This is where you leave part of your body in one place, and you move your meat or you move the spirit, but you don't move them both at the same time. Desynchronization. Okay?
And that's what the little blue arm there on the diagram is?
Yes. That's
Okay,
what
yes.
this blue arm is.
It's like Nico Robin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the spirit anatomy that matches your body. This is what you are, basically. Okay? So when you have energy flowing out of the soul and into your body, when you desynchronize, there's a small, tiny conduit that still stays with your physical body, and most of it is going with the desynchronized form. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Again, why that is, what that even means, we have limited understanding of.
Is it a variable amount? Is it like the more powerful you are, the more you can the closer to zero you can get, but you can't get to zero?
Unknown. We've never had somebody try to go all the way because the worry is that if you did that, you would die.
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't know. Just on like a gut reflexes check, that makes no fucking sense. You should be able to just up and fucking leave. Because like all of this, it can have an effect on your body. Like if I were to just like cut myself right here and then channel a bunch of extra juice onto only half of the cut, that half of the cut would heal faster than the first half, than the other half that I was not juicing. But like, if I were to like pull energy away from it, that does not mean that it will not heal because your cells are still repairing themselves. They're just doing it with less.
Okay.
So this is not like it's not gonna turn you into Wolverine. All right. This is like I have a gash on my arm that is healing in 2 days instead of 8 days.
Yeah, so
it's like that.
It's kind of more like classic Wolverine.
Yeah, like original Wolverine.
Yeah.
Where like he's full of bullet holes, but he'll be back up to fighting shape in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, in like a month.
Is that why you can eat annihilation snacks and not die?
No, because I don't use this technique whatsoever. Most of the techniques that we learned and discovered have no impact on my life. The one thing that I still do is I use it to find my keys and other lost objects. But that's it.
You
So
leave a
that's
little
all-
soul on the keys.
so
Like,
that's all
what's
it's
it from?
about.
It's from like Murdered Soul Suspect.
Actually, here, let's discuss how that works. Okay, so in the very center of the core of the star that your soul is, there's a bunch of threads that emanate out of the middle. And a bunch of them, like, spiral out in a giant tangle and fill up your body. And some of them literally connect to other people. There are threads running from you to another person in approximate proportion to the strength of your connection to that person and their connection to you.
Do you have a name for that yet?
Soul threads.
Damn it. You could have been social links. We could have made social links real, guys.
That would have been great. Actually, the original name for that was Philotes, which is a reference to Speaker for the Dead and the Ender's Game series.
Mm.
Yeah, because some of our old guys back in the day were really into books.
Seems
Huh.
like real nerds.
Yeah.
None of this. It's all the books.
All right.
Okay, so when do we go back to furries being retarded, though?
There's some groundwork we need to lay in order to get there.
Okay, we'll start laying it.
All right. Actually, you know what? Most of that is just trivia. We can circle back to that on question and answers. Point is, spirit body, actual body.
Okay.
Okay? Or I mean, they're both actual body. They're both real. Because physical means it can act or you can act on it, and it has medium. So like, information in a hard drive is physical in the sense that you can act on it, it can perform actions, or it has carrying capacity, like it's in stuff. Where is that data? It's on that hard drive. You can point to it if you are, like, really precise.
Accurate.
Yes, if you're atomically accurate, you can point to it. All right? So the spirit is physical because you can act on it and it can act on you. Otherwise, that cut healing trick would not work. Okay? And there's other tests that have been like, can you perceive the motion of somebody through a wall? That kind of shit. While blindfolded and have headphones on blasting music, and also you're in a different building. And you write down timestamps of what room they're in. That was a test we did.
I see.
Yeah. And yet, a whole bunch of the old members of this research group were like, yeah, I know we did a whole bunch of things that, like, would have been impossible to fake, and, like, I personally perceived it, and I would do something and not tell anybody, and then someone else would describe to me what I just did. But, like, none of that was real, man. Yeah. Or, like, some other people would see out into the further places, see some scary shit, and be like, nah, this is bad for me. I'm going to do drugs instead. And then they did a bunch of drugs, and we lost contact with them.
Yep.
Yeah. So the point is, I'm not teaching anyone how to do this, because it drives all of my friends insane, and then they leave. Except for, like, 2 guys. Well, 2 people that I know still are kind of halfway into this. One of them doesn't really talk to me anymore, and one of them is like still in my social circle to this day.
So what you're saying is, don't fucking touch souls!
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Makes
there,
sense.
There is a skill to it. You can be good at this stuff or bad at this stuff, and there is, like, a bodybuilding aspect of the more you do it, the stronger you get at it, and those 2 go up independently of each other. You know, like a real thing. Like a real skill. All right?
Okay. So furry's being retarded. Yes.
Right.
I can't wait to be the next generation Ryu and Ken.
You have this set of anatomy that matches your body exactly. Okay?
Okay.
Then you have an alternate set of anatomy that doesn't have to match your body exactly. And this is where Otherkin come from. Okay? But their mistake is everyone has this.
Yeah.
You have some other, like, not body matching anatomy to you. Okay?
You got some kind of soul shit that's not just everybody's got some not perfect human soul.
So, like, I try to draw this hand with a claw. I am not an artist.
The idea was conveyed.
Yeah.
As an artist, I have the...
Yeah. That's why I added the wing. All right. So, like, it's if you were to put it forth that some people have animal souls, that's a little out there, but kind of reasonable. But when somebody tells you that they're a dragon, what?
Lol.
There aren't dragons.
Yeah.
There's Komodo dragons. There's not dragons. But since everyone has this, it being a reincarnation thing doesn't make sense, because where are all the weird animals? Where are the civets and the lemurs and shit like that? Where are animals you've never heard of, like a caracal?
Where
are all the fish? That's a big one. Where are all the fish?
Yeah, I was just about to say, where is the SpongeBob's?
I met one fish. He was kind of a shark dude. Why was it a shark? Why is it always cool animals? Why is nobody ever a cow?
Yo, I bet Maddox would be a shark.
Maybe like a needle-nose shark.
Maddox would probably be an octopus, because I feel like he has a very, very high opinion of himself and no practical knowledge of what an octopus is or does.
Big, shiny chrome dome.
He's also constantly getting stuck in peanut butter jars.
Yes, that as well.
I see.
All right. So, now another thing that's interesting is that the details of this stuff, of this other anatomy, can change over time. So, somebody has wings that look like this, and then you tell them about it, and then, like, 6 months later, they keep thinking about how wings are cool, and now they got wings like this.
Yeah, like an angle.
Yeah.
From the Bible.
Right.
Does that let them grow a new wing, or would that just grow the one they already have?
The answer is anything.
Okay.
Because all of this stuff is malleable in seconds. So, like, if I were to, like, one of our old tests for whether some new person has any sensitive capacity or if they have to be taught that is, how many fingers am I holding up? And then, if they get the number right purely by accident, I would say, now touch my fingertips. And if they can do it, if they can touch exactly the fingertips that I raised, that means that they're probably not lying. They might just be cold reading, but they're probably not lying. And then we just move on to the next thing. But if somebody is like, yeah, I'm a witch, like, I hexed the moon.
Yeah,
I was part of that shindig, and I'm like, cool. How many fingers am I holding up? And they're like, you're not holding up any fingers, guy. Or better yet, I would say, how many fingers am I holding up? And they're like, 2. And I'm like, no, you're wrong. Okay, I can just play it off like I was fucking with you, and then ignore you because you don't know what you're talking about.
You're not a real spirit.
Yeah, basically. All right.
You're not a real hex girl.
All right. So, this can change over time.
You're not a
just
real witch.
as a result of you like playing with this shit. This can become more concrete over time. Like the details will like refine and very slightly change. Like there was this guy who's kind of it's kind of like reading an ink blot in some cases. Like they have a really vague shape, and you'd be like, that looks kind of wolf-like or bear-like. And you tell them that, and they're like, oh man, I'm a werewolf? That's cool. And we're like, not what I said, but I'm rolling with it. And then cut to like 2 weeks later, and apparently they've been thinking about it a whole lot, and they've been trying to like do sensory stuff and like do soul stuff. And you come back to them, and like the edges are really refined. They have a clear outline. It's not like looking at a cloud, you know? And like the details have come into focus because that shape has been like they've been stewing on it, and their mind affects their spirit in this kind of self-customization sort of way.
So am I a girl yet?
Maybe. I will neither confirm nor deny.
Damn it.
And then you get people who are like, well, I'm not a dragon, I'm an elf princess.
I deny reality and substitute my own.
Where they'll describe like feeling like they are internally magical, and they'll describe like pointy ears and shit, and they'll think about that for a long time. They'll like do the fake memory recovery thing. You remember the
Oh yeah.
You remember what I'm talking about here?
Yeah. That's elf face, by the way.
Yeah. That's an elf face. Couldn't you tell?
No, I meant it's like blackface, but for elves. That's what they're doing.
Yes.
Wait, what?
Yes.
That's what they're doing. They're putting on pointy ears, and they're like, oh, I'm magic on the inside too.
Yeah. Yeah. Disavow. Bullshit. I mean, they're tuning into something. They're tuning into this. This is real.
Mitochondria.
But it doesn't mean what they think it means. It means something a lot more like, I don't know, mundane. Like
low magic.
Yeah, like, so you got wings, let's say. Let's say you're a wing boy. That doesn't help you at all.
Yeah.
You can't do anything with that. It is self-knowledge, but it is not useful knowledge.
Yeah, so like having like an extra wing, like what the fuck does that do? Just like hang out?
Yes. Like I don't particularly do anything with my earlobes, but there they are. It's like that. What I'm saying is wings are earlobes. That's why they're drawn all lumpy like this.
That's why we need to develop ghost flight. So that way you can fly with ghost wings. We need to figure out how that works physically.
That's another weird thing. Why in the spirity places, why is there not gravity? Why can you just like freely go up and down? And just because like you want to. Not literally because you want to, because like picturing stuff and wanting to do something is a bad habit that we try to like beat out of people. Like No, you didn't actually do that thing. You were just picturing yourself doing it. Now do it for real, and I'll tell you when you've got it.
Yeah, I won't explain how gravity works in real life. You can look that up yourself, nerds.
Space dents.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why does like if it is just a different perpendicular direction to the three that we're used to, why does gravity different there? That makes no fucking sense. And that's why that's not explicit. That's not something that'd be hard to believe, but it seems to let us make better predictions about the way stuff works. Because when you're looking at something that looks like a complete wall in spirit world, if you're like trying to do something for some reason, never try to do something. It's pointless. But if you're trying to do something for some reason, and there's something that looks like a wall, and it's like a wall all the way around, like a shell. You can just change layers and maybe it'll be full of holes. As though you just walked around a corner or something.
Yeah, you'd go fourth dimension.
Yes, literally yes. Reach inside a sealed box and grab it, and fourth dimension, bitch. All right. So what Otherkin really are is the people who worshipped the giant head from Rick and Morty. They are...
Show me what you got!
They're seeing a correlation.
It's possible that we may have been correlating some things that weren't actually related at all.
Between, like, having this, and they're drawing the wrong conclusion from it, and there's nothing... Because it doesn't matter, there's nothing to contradict them. So they believe that they are reincarnated animals. They believe that they are, like, something like that. Or that they have a non-human soul, even though, like, maybe some of them don't believe in reincarnation, and they're just like, yeah, I was just, like, born like this. It just, like, fucked up shit happens, man. But since it's not just them, it is everyone. Our best explanation of what an otherkin is somebody who is like fucking around with their sensory awareness of in some capacity, or just like naturally slightly more sensitive to this shit than normal people, and they pick up on this and they draw wrong conclusions about it as though it makes them specific, when in fact it's everyone. You've never met somebody who does not have something like this ever.
Right.
You can people watch anywhere, and if your senses are sharp, you can pick them out. And they're all over the place, and you can tell when somebody's an otherkin, usually because the edges will be sharper and it will be more detailed. But this is a lot more like a Patronus from Harry Potter, where it's like this is a thing that is in you, and it corresponds in some way to the way that you think and feel and are. But it is also a malleable thing, and it changes over time, and everyone's got it.
Okay.
I mean, I can see the misconception, because one just a person with a super sense, some kind of chosen one, main character Chan, up there in their room watching TV. You know, they feel it out, and then they see this, and then you know, just from what they have in the world around them, they're still thinking too earthly, so they mistake it for this. That's Rainbow Dash.
Literally, yes. Now, the otherkin hole goes deeper than this.
Rainbow Dash.
Okay? Because otherkin all hang out with each other and all talk to each other, which is why they generally believe the same thing. That's why there's, like, people who are doing...
Just like us.
That's why there are people who are doing, like, fabricated lost memory recovery, and they're like, well, I'm an elven princess, and you're an elven princess. Maybe we knew each other. Maybe there's, like, some kind of lore we can put together.
Dude, and we're, like, reconverging in the next life, dude. It's like poetry. It rhymes.
Yeah.
Circles within circles.
And maybe there's, like... We can put together like a genealogy, or put together the history of our people and recover that, and they have like no names like Elanari and Diari as names of ethnicities of elf, that they've pulled out of these like memory recovery stuff.
I need to put this in the D&D campaigns.
And then it goes a layer further down because all those people all hang out and they all judge the shit out of anime fans. Particularly people like Genova House, Jenny Nova, people who believe that they are reincarnations of anime characters.
Yeah, Final Fantasy VII characters.
Or like fictional races like Na'vi from Avatar, from James Cameron's Avatar.
So wait. Okay, no wait. The elf one was also fake, right?
Or fictional races such as brown people from Avatar from Nickelodeon.
All right, so the elf history, not real. Does maybe your spirit form looks like an elf? Maybe that's possible.
Okay.
Especially if you get really obsessed with it and your brain just terraforms your body to be like that.
Yeah, you're just molding, but like, you know.
Yes. Oh, and another thing is that your body is elastic. So like, if let's say you really are a dragon, okay, and you like do some like spirity shapeshifty shit, and you like give yourself tentacles and like crab legs and stuff like that. When you stop paying attention, you will slowly like slink back into your default dragon state.
You'll drift into the grooves.
Yeah, it's not a permanent change unless you make it a permanent change, and that is a difficult skill.
Yeah, you gotta dig deeper grooves somewhere else.
Yeah. So if and this also applies to injury. Like if you lose a hand in spirit, it'll come back in like a couple minutes, because who knows? Why would that be? That makes no sense. That's fucking stupid. Like if you get a cut or something, shouldn't you be like bleeding somewhere in the like outer ether or something like that?
Yeah, does that pop the balloon?
Yeah. Shouldn't it do something like that? It doesn't. Why does it not? We don't know. We know that it's consistent. We know that like we've tried experiments where like, here's some new people that are curious. Let's pretend to know nothing and see if we rediscover the same things. Yes. Bit of a problem with that experiment setup is that how do you not influence the outcome?
Yeah.
But like, try it a couple of times and it just like works out. Whatever. It's not super important to rediscover identical rules, but occasionally we'll meet up with a crew of like 4 or 5 other people who call everything something different, and like they look at different layers automatically. These are the ones that our crew would look at, but like a lot of the same stuff happens, and we would get some cool techniques from them, and they would get some cool techniques from us. Stuff like being the safe way to astral project. This is one of those techniques that we got from a different crew. Okay, the safe way to astral project is to not make your spirit body leave the overlapping space of your punchable body, but to be in 2 places. Because remember, you can mold yourself. So be in 2 places and have that somewhere else. That way, your soul has not left the protections of your body. You can't pick up parasites and shit out there and bring it back in here. You are largely protected. It's like having like safe sex.
Quantum state.
Yeah.
Quantum sex.
Quantum sex. And being a pack of nerds, that was immediately labeled the Dr. Manhattan technique. Because we also had some comics boys.
Oh no, I was thinking like Plastic Man Jutsu or something.
Yeah, so that, like, and immediately being a pack of nerds, one of the things that we tested with all of this shit is, like, what anime shit is real and what anime shit is fake. So, like, Soul Resonance from Soul Eater. Is that real? Yes. Does it do anything? No.
Okay.
It has no effect.
What the fuck is Soul Resonance? I've never seen
It's
Soul
when
Eater.
it's when your frequency matches somebody else's frequency and you like build off of each other, but it doesn't like the idea is like constructive interference or like a positive feedback loop. You can set up positive feedback loops, but that's not what Soul Resonance does in real life. That is a different skill.
Okay.
Yeah.
What else is real?
Seeing stuff through walls, that's a thing.
Okay.
The closer it gets, like, here, our labeling of closer and further is how on a particular layer, how much does it match this stuff? So a close layer looks more like something you can punch, and a far layer looks less like something that you're looking at with your eyes. Oh yeah, that's another thing that's important. When you're seeing this shit, you don't see it in the normal way. It's not like you're hallucinating. Like, if I picture an apple in my hand right now, okay? Really picture an apple in my hand. You're not actually seeing an apple in my hand. But you can see the edges of where an apple would be. You can tell that in your brain where it would be and what it would look like.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's not like that either, but it's more like that than hallucination is.
Okay. So it's like in Hunter x Hunter where Bisky, whenever she trains Gon and Killua to like constantly have like Nen vision. So she'll just occasionally hold one finger up and float a number above it in Nen. Yes.
Literally yes.
Anime's got it figured out, dude.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
What's another thing? If you are looking at the flow of energy through your body, it becomes more efficient by nature of you looking at it. Like the lines smooth out and it gets less turbulent, and it runs more efficiently. This is one of the ways that I'm able to stay up for really long periods of time and not be just like fucking dead. Anytime that I'm, when I say I push myself awake, what I'm doing is I'm like pulling a little surge from the middle here and spreading it out over my body as a way, like, it will not clear the poison out of your brain. Your brain is constantly producing waste products that builds up, and so sleep is still important. But if you don't have a choice and you need to drive in order to not die on the side of the road, being able to pull some shit like that out of your ass is really handy.
That'll be handy tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You teach him to do that?
I don't need it.
Well, it's probably advanced. It sounds hard.
No, I'm like Knuckle Duster from MHA fucking Vigilantes, where he's just like, he's just a really strong dude. Like, he's basically the Batman of Hiroaka, where he just has no powers. He used to have a super speed quirk, but then it got stolen by All for One, and then he just was like, he just got jacked and became a strong guy instead.
Cool.
And he just goes around kicking the shit out of people in alleyways. So I don't need the superpowers. I'm like that guy.
Yeah. All right, now, there's other stuff about this, but our point here is that, like, because of this and what this is, if somebody's like gets really super obsessed with a Na'vi from Avatar, James Cameron's Avatar,
The last James Cameron.
James Cameron's Avatar: The Last Airbender,
Avatar, the last James Cameron film.
The Legend of Korra Suli, then it's not unreasonable for them to like terraform their spirit body into a giant blue cat person. Okay, that's not unreasonable as a thing that might actually happen. But like when people are like, yeah, I have like reincarnation memories of being a Navi on planet. What the fuck the planet's called?
Whatever.
It doesn't matter. Planet Raritanium. That's totally fake and is laughable and should be ridiculed.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Not real.
So do babies have like extra spirit limbs, or is it like something that you learn that you like impress upon yourself over time?
I'm never around babies. I'm sure somebody knows the answer to that, but like I have no interest in being around children, like because children are gross and annoying and they're covered in snot and piss.
Yeah, I'm talking about like hospital babies. Like go into a hospital and be like, can I just look in there?
No idea.
All right.
Want to know what happens when you die?
Sure. Yeah, enlighten us.
Okay, so like, this will sort of like fizzle a little bit. Like it'll.
Now, did you have to kill somebody to get this evidence or get this data?
We got it from a couple of places. One is from watching as pets are put down. Like, I have let's say you have a cat or a dog or something that's sick and it needs to be put down. It's callous and all that, but you need to be watching for the sake of science.
Yeah.
Yeah, do it for the science, bro.
Yeah. Another one is like, well, my grandfather's girlfriend is like about to die. She's like in the hospital. Let me keep an eye on that and see if anything happens there and see what it looks like and shit.
Jesus H. Christ.
So he says that with a notepad in hand.
So like this starts to like fizzle out and get kind of like fits and starts like
old light bulb.
like an old light bulb, and colors will change in there. We don't know what those colors mean. Again, we don't know any significance to any color. It's just like a flavor thing or like a smell thing. Like things just have flavors and smells. Just go with it.
It's your essence.
I'm sure there's a real reason, but nobody knows what it is right now. And then like this on the outside here will stay there, but the middle part where it all like comes from will like fall in on itself and hollow out, and then the whole body, the whole spirit body will desynchronize and then go in some direction where we can't turn and look to follow it. And that's that. This suggests an afterlife, but also ghosts are fake. Ghosts are not real.
Yeah. Randy Stair did not send to the ghost zone.
Right. There are no ghosts.
Okay.
Yeah, in our reality,
There are no beings.
No, like in all of our travels, all of the looking around and shit, all the exploration in the distant places,
all the scoping.
There are no ghosts.
Which is to say that there are no beings that don't have a physical form of some kind.
Oh, there plenty well are, but they are not deceased humans.
Yeah, they're not things that used to have a physical form and then just don't.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Simon had a question?
Yes, Simon.
That was literally my question. Like,
Okay.
So things can't die and then persist with just the soul and not the meat space body.
Well, to the best of our knowledge, nobody who's ever like been in our crew has killed themselves.
That's nice.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
We must experiment.
Or if they did that, then they did it after they like left the group and went insane,
And
or
cut
went
off
insane and
contact.
left the group. I don't keep track of these people. Fuck them.
Yeah, you're gonna get home and one of them's gonna contact you from the beyond, and that's gonna be the start of your RPG story.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. Your senses are not always on. You have like a low level sense sometimes, most of the time, if you pay attention to it constantly. But it is something you have to check. It's like looking over your shoulder at your own ass. You're not just constantly looking at your ass. You're not constantly.
You tune it out.
Yeah, you're not constantly aware of your tongue in your mouth. Or,
I tune my ass
or
in.
whether or not you're breathing, or any of that. When's the last time you were blinking? Just now. You know you're blinking now because I paid attention to it.
Yeah. I remember there was a best friend. There was a super best friend cast where the name of one of the podcasts was "You Are Now Blinking Manually."
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
One of them was also named Aryan Resurrection.
Is that anything to do with this?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
My favorite movie franchise is Alien versus Predator.
Yeah, that brings up other questions.
Circles within circles.
Like, what happens if somebody like just gets an electric shock and their heart stops and can't find rhythm again, and then they die? Can you keep their soul from doing that, that fade out thing, and start their heart back up again? Does that work? We don't know. None of us have ever been in a situation like that. Or I guess maybe they have now and didn't think about it because like. Do you know how long it takes me to remember that I can find my keys via magic? It's an embarrassingly long time.
Yeah.
I gotta admit, it wouldn't occur to me very fast.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, that's how Hirawaka should work. Is that the characters just like with the shitty quirks, they should just forget that they even have them most of the time.
Yeah. And like you don't remember unless you use it all the time. You don't remember that you can do that shit as your first instinct.
Yeah.
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 I'm gay.
It like experiencing the bodily sensations of another person to tell whether or not they're in pain when they're trying to hide it, or like how they're feeling emotionally. That's a thing you can do. Never remember to do it. Inducing an emotional state in someone else is a thing you can do. The most I ever did with any of that is like be at a flea market and try to get people to buy something by making them want things that I had, and then I felt gross after like a couple hours and I stopped.
Damn.
No, that's just good marketing.
It is good marketing, but like I also feel like I'm taking advantage of people.
How they marketed.
Well, that is how you sell things. You have to take advantage of them.
I don't have to do that though. I could just provide a service that people actually want, charge fairly for it, receive fair compensation, and we call it good.
Yeah, it's just marketing.
Yeah, because then you have to be meditating all the time in order to force people to want it.
It's more like holding a clenched fist.
Yeah, that's
You
what I meant.
can do it. It does take a little bit of concentration, but I'm talking to you and I'm still clenching my fist.
Are you clenching your other fist though?
They move together unless you specifically desynchronize them.
All right.
And even if you do desynchronize them, like I haven't done this in a couple months, so give me a sec.
Oh my god.
There. Even if you do desynchronize them and you move them independently of one another, if you just like flap your wrist around a little bit, a bunch of chaotic motion like that, they're back together.
Yeah, because you can't keep track of it or whatever.
Yeah. But if I were to desynchronize and then just leave it, it would stay there and then slowly drift back to synchronization.
Yeah, you don't put the energy in the system.
Right. We have to bring this full circle. We got to bring it all the way around to the fact that Otherkin, technically real. Otakukin, not real.
Yeah.
Ghosts, not real. Past lives, not real. Yeah. Questions?
All right, yeah, everyone unmute. Let's go. We have any follow-ups?
Yeah.
Tarbuck,
Yeah.
find your keys via magic.
Okay, so you remember when I was talking about threads
Yeah.
and soul
yeah.
threads before? You have a
I can't see it. The screen is frozen.
Yeah, it's been doing that every few seconds.
It's fine.
whatever. So you remember when I said that you have threads, like soul threads that come out of like your soul sun?
Yeah, the little
Okay.
spermatozoids.
I'm not using any of the words because they're all weeaboo and
Frozen
okay.
for all of us, I think.
Well,
Okay.
okay, I have the camcorder running, so you'll get the footage later if you really
Alright.
want it.
So, those threads go not just to people that you are really attached to. You have at least some threads that go to most people you've ever even had the idea of them conveyed to you. Okay? You could conceivably follow them.
Hey, mute if you're not talking. Christ.
What? Oh, we crashed. That's
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah, that crashed.
Frozen, bruh. Still frozen.
Dude, mute if you're not talking. Mute if you don't
Are
have
we
questions.
here? Are we here? Are we live?
Okay.
Interesting.
It was Discord's fault. It wasn't our fault. The internet is good.
I
Breathe.
see that. Did we lose anybody?
I don't think so. We got everybody. Like, we were just gonna ask questions and then you
Yeah.
guys cut out.
Okay, cool. Well,
Alright.
just questions.
So to finish the question I was asking, how do I find my keys? So you've got threads connecting you to all people, and they're different amounts based on your closeness to that person and personal connection to that person. This is part of why it's hard to like disconnect from somebody. Okay.
Okay.
What we have found is if you unlatch those connections and pull them back to you, and then make them be not snapping back automatically because they just snap back automatically under normal circumstances. Make that disconnection permanent, and then it is easier to move on from people that are no longer in your life. So if you're having trouble getting over an ex,
Permanently dissociate is what you're saying.
if you're having trouble getting over an ex, this can help you. It was a service we charged for.
Yeah, you would form ghost scissors and then snip, snip.
Yeah.
When you say we, who is this group?
All right. So I explained it before, but back in the day,
She wasn't there.
I
for
had a
that.
bunch of
She wasn't there
friends.
for that.
yeah. This was back in the day. We, me and some friends of mine were like, "Hey, souls are probably real."
What age were you guys?
I was 15. Nobody else who is still in my life is relevant to the formation except for one person who prefers to be private.
So you were teenagers, is what you're saying.
I was a teenager. Not everyone was a teenager.
Okay.
So you were, like, average age.
Average age was like, I was 15. Average age was about 19.
Okay. So and low age.
And low age.
Yeah, so y'all's was yeah, I guess this was meant to be.
Mhm.
Y'all's was young, and y'all was like, y'all souls are probably real. Let's see if we can do
Yeah.
shit with souls. And y'all were like, okay.
Yeah.
I imagine the way you find your keys is like Hisoka's fucking bubblegum Nen from Hunter x Hunter. Have
Well-
you watched Hunter x Hunter?
No.
Okay, it seems like it gets too much accurate.
So if you have a really strong connection to an object, a really strong connection to an object, it's harder to connect to objects unless you do it manually. You can think about that object, and it like strums on those threads, and then you can follow the strumming of those threads to the physical object.
Oh,
And
okay.
that's how I do it.
Okay, I kind of get the metaphor.
Yeah. When you do it the first couple of times, like focus on a person who's really personally important to you, and like feel a strumming action, and like you might feel weird in a spot on your body somewhere. Now I have already said too much. I do not want to teach you guys this shit. I don't want to teach anybody
Yeah,
this
cut
shit.
it off. Cut it off.
Oh, okay.
Disavow.
delete.
Delete. All right.
Need to go back.
Anyway, that's how you find an object.
I still want a tutorial.
Yeah.
It can be a private lesson.
How to
I'll
basic.
sign a contract. I'll give
Yeah.
you a soul. I have my friend's soul. I got a contract for it.
Cool. So another thing. that you
How
can
much when you obtain one? How much gil are like a normie souls worth? Like NPC souls?
I'd say this is moderately normie. He has Tourette's, if that helps.
Choice.
Does that raise or lower the value?
All right. So this also works like you can skip stones off of this. Like we called it hilariously the 6 degrees to Kevin Bacon technique. You can like strum on somebody that you know has a strong connection to a third person. Get your connection to that person and follow that.
Yeah. Do you have to still go to the other person, or can you just directly go?
You only need to establish the circuit once, and then you've got a direct line.
Okay. So it's like old operators.
Yeah. You might also need
So this is
to.
what you meant when we were watching Legend of Korra, and you were like, "That's not how it really works." But
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. That's what I meant.
Yeah, question.
Yeah. Hit me.
Okay. Why the fuck did my guitar strum on its own? Give me answers.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, his guitar strummed on itself. Yeah.
Probably, not real. If it is real,
Agreed.
if it is real, then probably some. So I explained how like in the further out there places, the places that look less like this, that there's stuff living on those further places that's not here. Like if I were to find like a slug or something like that is there but isn't here. Yeah.
Yeah, a brain slug like Ashley Vampire.
Yes. If you were to find something out there, they're normally they don't have this. They're just like a collected puff bound inside of a shape, and you can kill them. And
How much XP do you get?
it's very small.
Depends.
All right, so they're bound in a shape, but they don't usually have these. Okay, and you can kill them.
Does that make it ethically okay?
Yes, it does. Little critters do not have moral status. Now, just like insects, bugs do not have moral status. I am not doing anything wrong when I step on a spider.
That's gonna be the most disagreeable thing so far.
Well, once again, Tyler. That's the second reason Tyler shouldn't watch this.
Oh, actually, I should really go to a pet store or something like that and test it. Whether insects do have wells or not. Whether they've got this. Because I have personally never been curious enough to find out. Maybe they do, and maybe it is actually wrong. Because here's another thing that you might find interesting. Trees do not have this, but they have something like this. It's built differently on the inside. Like I would need a more complicated diagram, and I'm not going to do that. But they do have like the whole like conduction of juice and stuff, and they're like real feeling creatures basically.
Okay.
So plants should have moral status that insects do not deserve.
But you're still a woodworker.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, cool.
Like, it's dead. Fuck do I care?
Yeah, pro-choice, you know.
Literally, yes. Choice is more important than life, including when my choice is more important than your life.
Die.
So, plants are real boys, is what I'm getting at.
Cool.
Fuck
Yeah.
'em, though.
I'll never eat a fucking salad again.
Salads are great when you want to eat something while it's still alive.
That's sick. And then I'll just eat a fucking octopus. I'll have octopus type shit.
Oh yeah, like Old Boy. Just
Yeah.
eat a living
Old Boy.
octopus.
Oh,
That's
boy.
what I was thinking of.
All right, so there are critters out there, like big stuff, as in they have a lot of juice, and they maybe have these. Some of them do, some of them don't.
Can I have a partial well? Is there a way to have like kind of one?
I mean, it's kind of like having a partial hole. You either have a hole or you've got a dent. It's not a hole.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Well, it has parts, so like, can I have like
Yeah.
part of it?
it seems to be pretty self-contained. Like if I were to like take you and like blast away all of this other shit, or like peel it off, it would just grow back.
Okay.
Yeah. We,
That's the goopy stuff, not the well.
Yeah. All three of these parts we call the well, the core, surface, and corona.
Oh, okay.
Get it?
No.
Because it looks like a star when you're looking directly at it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I saw
I
Tangled.
was about to say, is that because you're ahead of your time and you called it Corona just to... Because everyone's got it?
Because everyone's got
Everybody's
Because that's when
Yeah.
the harmonic convergence where you'd be hanging out with a bunch of teenagers talking about this shit again.
Yeah, right.
I'm not a teenager.
When once I was the teenager,
neither am
now I
I.
am the old fuck.
Yeah,
It's true.
this is kind of the three oldest people in the group. Yeah,
It actually
it
is.
literally is.
Yeah, the next closest.
Yeah, babies. That's why they get to sit in the baby chair.
All right. Like shit that's way out there. When you look at it, this is another thing about spirit stuff. The act of looking at something causes it to be able to see you. It's kind of like blowing on something. It can see you and see the act of being seen by you.
So is that how you like feel like you're being watched or something?
Yes.
Yeah, like in Metal
Or-
Gear.
Well, it's the same kind of thing. It actually has more to do with threads. Like when you're focusing really hard on somebody, you're strumming on those threads. So that's why if you're following somebody at a great distance and you're focusing on them, but you're not looking directly at them, you are more likely not to be found out than if you are looking directly at them. This is real advice that they give to spies and stuff, like back in the 60s. Which the fact that is, it's got precedent. It's got precedent.
Yeah, I believe.
Oh yeah, another thing that's not real: chakras.
Yeah, chakras ain't real.
Yeah. Separate from this, you have like little tangles of like conduits, kind of like if a heart was not a heart, but it was just like a tangle of veins and stuff. It does pulse and it redistributes to an area. Like if you've got one here, it probably redistributes and manages your leg.
And your thyroid.
Yeah, that's another thing. But their size and importance and location is totally random. There doesn't seem to be any consistency between different peoples and what theirs looks like and where they are located.
And like numbers.
Right. Numbers are also totally variable. Maybe you've got 2, maybe you've got 12. Doesn't matter.
Okay. Well, is there like a vague range, or is it possible for someone to have like hundreds or like thousands?
I think the most we've ever seen is like 25.
Okay, so it's a pretty low range.
Yes, it's a low number because there's only so much space in you.
Does that correlate? So that doesn't correlate to anything.
if there's a correlation to be had, we haven't been charting that,
Okay.
and half of our documents are lost because, people keep like going insane and leaving our group.
Yeah.
All right, keep it.
I had two questions. I think I had a genuine misunderstanding or like a clarification. Oh, so we have the flesh bot, the meat space body. Then we have the blue one, which is like the spirit version of that.
Yes.
Is the green layer like the second layer of the spirit that is like the more true form, basically?
All of them are exactly as true in the same way that your hands are equally true.
Okay, but like, what's the blue one compared to the green one? Are they not just the same?
They are not the same.
Okay, how
They're
are they
the
not
same.
the same though?
Because one of them looks like you and one of them looks like a critter.
Okay, that's fine.
That's it.
Okay,
So
so
do you have a spectrum from like you to like soul form you, or is it like you have just the 3 layers?
There's discrete anatomy here. Because again, going back to the predator, we don't know what changing layers actually really means.
yeah, what changing visors?
Yeah, changing visors. We don't know what changing visors really means. Are you looking at the same thing through different senses and processing the information differently? Or are you looking in a different physical place? Unknown.
Yeah, okay, so basically I was just going to ask, which one of those out of the 3, which one of those do I have to lose to become a nobody?
Okay.
How do I be Zemnis?
I haven't played it since it was new on PS2.
They say it's someone who had a strong. They say that a nobody is someone who lost their heart, and their heart obviously goes on to become a heartless, and then but they had a strong ass will, so they were able to keep their form and basically their sentience, like their brain, but they can't feel emotions.
Okay, so to translate, I'm making this up as I'm going, but it sounds like if you have this, and you
keep the body.
And you have this, but you lose these, that sounds accurate to me.
Yeah, but how would that just not be like death?
That's fictional. It's just like a
To
proposition.
me, that would. I feel like that would be more losing the green side, like the beastie side, because that's like losing your emotions and like the rawest possible form of yourself.
Yeah, you become like a being of like pure rationale.
Yeah, you become a man.
Well, just to bring this back to reality for a sec, when you burn this shit away, nothing happens, and also it just grows back.
Okay, yeah, just like Kingdom Hearts. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's literally exactly how it was. You remember when you played Kingdom Hearts 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a lie. Hearts just eventually grow back. They didn't.
Cool.
They didn't need to make a new Kingdom Hearts in order to restore their hearts. They
I
recommend
have
it.
a question specifically pertaining to mental illness.
Yeah, what's up?
So basically, like the fucking soul thing in the middle. I'm sorry, I came in late.
The well.
Yes. Okay, how connected is it to your brain? Like for instance, if that leaves, or if you astral project, right?
Yeah.
Then do you still have schizophrenia? That's basically what I'm asking. Or does the schizophrenia just stay in the brain physically?
They're inseparably connected. We've never tried to disconnect somebody's well from their body, completely in the way that you disconnect threads from another person.
Yeah, dissecting the brain and the heart to me has never really made sense.
Yeah, because it seems like if you by the way, the location of this is also variable. It's usually in the middle, but it's whatever.
Yeah, fluid.
So it could be my cock.
Yes, it could be in your cock.
Damn it, he beat me
It
to
has
it.
a resting place, and they come in different sizes.
That's how you lose your virginity.
Yes.
You just get that in somewhere. You have to be
We
bored.
theorize that if you fully sever the seat of the soul from a person, they die.
Yeah.
We've not tried it because killing people is bad.
Yeah.
Like trees.
Yes.
Die when they're killed.
People die when they are killed.
Yeah, I was gonna be like, that's because. Yeah, because fucking nerve gear, dude. You can't trust it.
Yeah. But if you are in two places at once, the safe form of travel, or if you just want to stick your dick in a corpse and astral project.
Wait, in what order do you do that second one?
It's a metaphor.
Okay.
Safe being in two places at once is safe sex. sticking your dick in a corpse while having open wounds on your dick is astral projection.
Wait, if you're in two places at once,
Yes.
and you have a dead body, can you be in two places at once, and one of those is in your body, and one of those is in their body?
Well, something killed that body. You're not, like, if you were to try to do that, it's not like you're gonna magically pull the bullet out of somebody's body or something like that.
Yeah, I was thinking.
That'll be a dead body.
Yeah, I was thinking more so like that. The idea is that like the body is like a dead body or a different body is just like shit ain't compatible.
Yeah, it's like started. Maybe we think you might have until the cells die,
Yeah.
but once the cells are dead, they're fucking dead.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
talking
if
you
you
do it like fresh.
It would have to be something where the function of the body is not inhibited. Like if you were to like pinch the blood vessels that go to the brain until a person passes out and dies, then presumably their brain is still dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bad.
I understand.
So
But-
are you still exposing yourself when you're in quantum place? Like you're in two places at once?
No.
Okay.
And so there's two aspects to why astral projection is unsafe. One is your body has protections built into it that your spirit does not have.
Okay.
You can learn to make up for that. That is a skill you can learn.
Build up resistance.
Yeah, or just like picking the shit off of you. That kind of stuff. What you can't do is necessarily guarantee that you are coming back to an empty body.
Right.
Because as you do this shit, you're like making waves. You're like visible to other things out there.
Okay.
And the more you do this shit, the more visible you are to other things. So
Mute
if
your mic.
whoever's typing, mute.
God damn.
Okay.
When
Um,
you say other things, are you? Does that also refer to like other kin, or is it just like trees and stuff?
When I say other things out there, I mean stuff like on different layers where there is something here that I'm not currently punching. Where you're not seeing me punch it. You can see me punch the table. There's also versions of that table in other spirity places.
Yeah.
But there are further distant spirity places where there is not a table here.
Yeah, there's just the spirit layer.
It's something incongruous to the reality that we are perceiving.
Yeah, like fucking monsters, dude.
Yeah, like the spirits from Korra,
Yes.
my favorite show.
Actually, it's kind of like the Upside Down in that you can attract the attention of something bigger than you, and it will just start fucking with you because that's what they do. We've never met anything that is intelligent and nice, ever.
Never met anything nice.
No.
Okay.
The best you can hope for is benign, like grass.
Okay.
If
Grass
it can
is
move,
benign,
it
gotcha.
will probably try to fuck with you. In the same way that
That's it.
in the same way that when you like try to pet a wild animal, it will think you're attacking it and bite you.
Okay. So it is. So you have encountered intelligent things.
Yes, we have encountered things that are capable of communication in like a human level intelligence. This is very bad because they're usually bigger than you.
That's aliens. You don't fuck with aliens.
And by bigger than you, I mean like they're able to do more spirity stuff than you, and they're able to do it stronger than you. So you're kind of just fucked.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
they're
like
like-
cosmic.
Yeah, they're level 70 at like the beginning of the game.
Yeah, it's kind of like walking around the starter area and tripping over a basilisk.
Yeah, it's like every fucking JRPG ever without random encounters.
Yeah. Do not go looking for stuff. Don't go looking for snakes. You might find them, motherfucker.
Yeah.
The worst thing that could happen to you is that you go looking for something and you find it. You succeed.
The dog's upset.
bad
He knows
end.
too much.
That was another thing that we did is we would charge people for exorcisms and shit. Most of the time, it was actually nothing.
Yeah.
Most of the time, it was just a mundane thing. But like occasionally, people would have tripped into some nasty shit, and we had to dig them out of it.
Wait, I have a second question.
Yes.
About the intelligence. So have you ever found an instance of two things communicating separately from you. Like, not communicating you and it, but it's communicating with something else and you observe that.
Yes.
Okay, so
This is very hard to do because when you observe things, they can observe you unless you're really sneaky about it.
Yeah. So it is possible that there are communities of
Non-punchable things.
non-physical things or whatever.
No, everything.
That's
I like saying punchable because this is punchable.
Yeah.
The spirit version of this is also physical because if you can act on it or it can act on you and it has medium, then it is physical.
Okay. So you just call it punchable?
Yes,
And
I
not punchable?
personally say punchable.
Okay. There's no
Or
cool
like-
anime word for that?
Yeah,
It's fine for us.
meat space, the common realm. What are some other things?
The
that we...
real.
Yeah. I mean for the opposing side, not for meat space. Meat space I got words for.
Yeah, meat space. We got words for.
Mitochondria.
You don't have to come up with
Ethereal,
one if you don't have one.
energetic. We don't have like we don't call it the upside down or the warp or anything like that.
Man, you really should call it the warp though.
I mean,
The life
when we
stream.
look back at Warhammer 40k, it is kind of like the warp. It really is, because you can like be out there, and it has like a common space, and there's like the concept of distance is fucky,
Yeah.
and like you have a warp shadow. This.
Yeah.
And you can fuck with something, cause its attention to be latched onto you, come back to the punchable space, and then it will just not leave you alone. And maybe you attracted the attention of something, and it like starts to fuck with you in bigger ways, like like breaking glass, or like strumming on your guitar, or like fucking up your electronics,
Yeah.
or like just killing you.
Gene stealer cults, man. Never trust them.
Uh-huh.
That's nice to know.
Yeah. So, to review, ghosts, fake, haunting, real.
Okay.
Spirits, real.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah, what's up?
Can you like connect your like soul threads to people like through the internet?
That's another thing. There is no such thing as distance. So,
Okay.
No, yeah.
I mean, there is, but it doesn't work the way that it should. Like,
Yeah.
things can be miles that way, and you can interact with it at distance as though you were right next to it.
Yeah.
So how do we not spend 10 hours driving back from here to your place in Indiana then?
Bad end.
You have to go into the warp, and that's just not worth it.
Yeah, you have to use the anti-spiral portals.
Yeah, like, there's no fast travel system.
Yeah.
Not yet.
We're not in sci-fi yet.
There's no fast travel system for punchable
See, if
space.
he was a world leader, we'd be working on this
Yeah.
shit.
What we consider the holy grail of all of this, the reason that anybody even cared about this after the first 6 months is because if you can measure it with your body, like, you are able to measure it, obviously, because otherwise you would not be able to interact with it. Interacting with something and measuring it is the same thing. So, since a person can interact with stuff in like spirity things, and it has an effect on the real world, that means you should be able to measure it. If you can measure it, can you turn it into a power source? If you can turn it into a power source, does that mean that I get sick mech suits that I power with my soul?
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. What if you had you could get like meat space? You build augmentations that you can fill out with your own own well, and then control / power them.
Yeah, I would love to be able to like remote pilot a mecha or something like that.
Or
Because
just a
again,
car.
there's no sense of distance. If something can even be detected, that means that you could set up some sensors, connect it to like a Raspberry Pi, and like control your smart house with
Yeah.
your mind.
Set up an Arduino board.
Yeah, that would be fucking sick.
So if I'm Ellen Page and...
Ellen Page. I know this
Our
stuff.
like our soul threads to each other. Would it be like the soul version of touching dicks?
Yeah, it probably would be.
No, that happens all the time. It's more like knowing about somebody, or like being near them, or like rubbing shoulders with them, or like
It's
other
social.
forms of contact.
It's just social.
Near each other, constantly touching dicks. So
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
nowhere near.
SpongeBob, where like I think it was where SpongeBob was trying to spend time with Squidward, and he was we're brothers but closer, and they would sit up their shirt and talk to each other. That's Plunder and Starman.
Yeah, I remember that.
Tarbuck, I just have one question.
Yeah.
Where's both?
Where's
His name is Toth. You no, stop, cease. His name is Toth.
Disavow all of it.
Thoth sounds fucking stupid.
It does, but it's funny.
If Thoth is real, he's either like a big creepy crawly or a Nephilim or both. Bad, don't.
Nephilim.
Hey, are machinos real, unironically?
What?
What's a machino?
So you know when you trip on LSD, you see shit, is that just your brain doing things, or is that
Oh yeah, or are you seeing reality?
Assume that's just.
I have no idea. I'm not a drug boy.
Okay.
The only person
I'm interested.
who was into hallucinogens that would be able to answer that saw something he didn't want to see, and then he got really spooked and disappeared. He was the first guy we lost.
Okay, so that's a tentative yes.
He didn't do it while.
It might be an enhancer, but it probably doesn't just give you superpowers to do acid.
Right. Drugs do not give you soul superpowers, as far as we know. Otherwise, he would have been better at it, you know?
It might, lower your defense.
Yeah, you're like a Kuma, where you have higher attack power, but you also have the least HP.
Maybe.
He's a glass cannon.
No idea.
That's just
Glass cannon.
that's projecting,
Yeah.
but not astrally. That's just mentally.
Say again?
Be the last remaining. What made you stay? What made you not go insane?
Oh, I'm not the last remaining member. That's the other thing.
There's one other guy, right?
There's two other people.
One with a tepid connection, one who's still in it.
One who's still in my social circle. The whole project has been dead for years because we didn't make any progress in getting people together consistently enough to do anything other than fuck around with creepy crawlies. That's all anybody ever wanted to do. And eventually the senior members were like, this is gay.
I can't take it.
I hate this. Let's just ignore this and only use it for mundane things like finding your keys.
Yeah, that's best for the world.
Okay, so I lost a pair of keys 2 years ago. Is it possible I still have a connection to them and I can't find them?
Really long-term connections like that probably wither over time. I don't personally know.
Probably.
It's maybe doable.
I have a great deal of hatred for that pair of keys. I spent so long trying to find it.
Now, if you were really, really, really sharp in your senses, then you could find it from almost nothing. But you're not, so...
For all you know.
Right. Exactly.
We get to test that later.
All right.
So if I'm Ellen Page,
yes,
and my twin brother died in the womb, could he be tethered to me throughout as I live my life in meat space, and
Ghosts
he hangs on to
are
me?
fake.
No, but okay, that's fine. So yeah, Beyond Two Souls, shitty game. Gotcha.
I like that game.
No.
He could be
Play it again.
a creepy crawly, eldritch monster from out in the black.
No, but
That's
it's
a
literally her
possibility.
brother. It's her brother who died in the womb.
But if it is literally her brother, then no, that is science fiction, but it is still cool.
No, not really.
I don't
I mean,
know.
I would
I didn't
describe it
actually
as-
play that game.
I would describe it
Yeah.
as cool, but I do think the game is fun.
You know what's cool? Ellen Page. Ellen Page is cool.
Yeah, she should have been The Last of Us instead.
Yeah.
She was
All right.
supposed to, she turned that shit down for Beyond Two Souls for whatever.
So,
Mistakes were made.
confirm, deny questions like, is this real? Go. Ask me.
Are Heartless real?
No.
Okay.
Can you read minds?
It is
Can you read-
complicated.
Okay.
Kind of.
Can you potentially well, okay, yeah. Explain your potentially.
Okay, so I am bad at all of that shit.
Okay.
That is not my strong suit. One of the things that is real is you can tell somebody's you can like piggyback somebody's sensory feed, like like getting their sense of touch and their sense of there's a fancy science word for it, but like there's a reason that I can close my eyes right now and still perfectly touch the tip of my nose. Your sense of your own body.
Yeah, yeah.
You can get that.
So you have like so they'll have like a connection between like their well and their brain, and you can like tap into that.
We don't know how it works necessarily. We think it has something to do with threads, but we're not sure, because if you're wiretapping somebody's senses a lot, it builds more threads.
Yeah.
I have a question. Is like the Avatar spirit world real?
We already established yes.
We have established that not only is that real, but also it's way crazier than it is depicted in Avatar, and you could not realistically depict it in Avatar and have people just accept it. It's too much to explain.
It's more like the warp.
Yeah, it is the warp from Warhammer 40k, but also even worse than that.
I don't know about worse than the warp from Warhammer 40k.
Not worse, but it is stranger.
I could believe that, because the warp is like, oh, you go to the warp, okay, the walls are bleeding. That's just like default.
Yeah, I mean that is in the right, and by right I mean wrong, space to be in. That is also true, but don't be in those places. It's bad.
Yeah.
Could the back rooms physically oh yeah, like alternate dimension like rooms.
It's not what dimension means, but
the idea of like the back rooms or like the development room from like Persona, you know? Like,
can you
rooms
find
that exist outside of time and space?
Can you find spaces that like visually look that way? Probably.
No, like could you like just like break through time and space to find like an area outside of time and space?
Here's hoping, because that place is way more interesting. See, this is one of the pitfalls that you can fall into, and you're already doing it. This is why I'm not teaching you. If you get more interested in that place than this, that's what you spend all of your time doing. You like huff some cat pee, and you like get lost in the universe of heavy metal, and you lose your mind, and you only care about like fucking with magic and demons and shit.
Yeah.
And that is bad. That is a bad thing to do. It makes your punchable self waste his life.
Don't fucking touch demons.
You just re-record your lo-fi Let's Play of Brutal Legend over and over again, and you're never happy with it.
Right. All right. Other questions?
So you can peer, since dimensions are different axes of distance. You did say that time is not an axis of distance at some point. Not today, but you said it before. I believe. Is that true? Is that a thing I'm remembering?
That sounds like something I would have said. Yeah.
Okay. So does that mean that it is possible to see things that are in different distances of time than the one that you're currently in, i.e., seeing into the past or seeing into the future, as if you're seeing it just in a distance away?
So there's two answers. One is with soul senses, you can see like echoes of shit. This is how psychometry works, in part. A combination of sensing that something had happened by like looking for echoes of stuff.
Okay.
Whether those echoes are time bound, I don't personally know. That wasn't my area.
Okay.
Maybe.
Do you have a title in this clan?
It's not a hierarchy.
Well, yeah, but like, you're like a coalition. Did you Did you give yourself a cool name?
We determined that would be way too cult-like and decided against it.
Oh, see, when I was in the T Club, I was the director of programming. See, you get this shit you put on a resume.
Yeah, I don't know that I want magic to be that official. Oh, by the way, just a point of bookkeeping. At least with our crew, magic always means contacting some like outer spirity critter and having it do shit for you. It does not mean doing any of this stuff.
Okay.
That's just the way that we talk, You don't have to.
That makes enough sense.
Yeah, institutionalized magic is fucking gay.
Yeah.
It
And
totally ruins the meaning of the word magic.
magic is also, like, bad, and, like, because remember, anything that's intelligent enough to communicate with is evil and trying to fuck you. Sometimes literally. I'm exaggerating, but I'm exaggerating for what is hopefully comedic effect.
Can you...
Oh, right. You asked me about mind reading, right?
Yeah.
I only got partway into that. So you can wiretap somebody's senses. Like, are you hungry? Are you in pain? That kind of stuff. What we've noticed is that you can get an exact body part, but the left and right aren't always perfect. So you can pinpoint down to like the millimeter where something hurts, but maybe that's the wrong shoulder. How did you get it down to the millimeter, but get the shoulder wrong?
So can you not, like, peer into things that aren't mirrored?
Explain.
Like the heart.
Yeah, you can.
Because you wouldn't ever get the heart on the wrong side.
Yeah, I mean, that's still doable.
Or do you just feel it on both sides, but you know because process of elimination that it's only on one side?
You feel it on you, and you feel it there. So, like, if I were looking at your sensory feed, and you just, like, jammed your thumb into your palm, I would feel it a little ghost of pain right here, and I would feel it also physically over there in its correct distance location spot.
Okay.
But if you're pressing your thumb into your right side, and I happen to know that, like, if you were doing that, and I were also looking, which I'm not, because I haven't done this in a long time, and, you know, if this is a skill you can get rusty at, so, I don't want to, like, perform and then not be good at it.
Yeah.
But if you happen to know that somebody is missing a limb, let's say, and they also don't have a phantom limb, because sometimes that happens and sometimes it doesn't. But if they're missing a limb and you also don't know that person does not have a phantom limb, and then they bump their right wrist, but you feel it in your left wrist, you just know that you are wired backwards from that person.
Okay, so are you just wired backwards from somebody?
That's a thing you can do. You can, like, look at them and pay attention and flip-flop, but you can be just wired backwards from somebody.
Okay. And you can change that, though.
You can make up for it and get used to it.
That may or may not float between flipped and flopped.
Right.
All right.
Don't know.
At least you don't ever feel someone's back or front shoulder. That'd be really confusing.
Yeah.
Unless they have that as part of their spirit pod.
Mm-hmm.
They just have a front shoulder.
Stranger things have happened. So, that is one thing that you could call being like mind reading that is doable, like getting a sense of somebody's emotional state.
That's the low level mind reading. If you cast it as a third level spell or higher, though, you can ask the DM a question and get a true answer from their brain.
You can, like, tap their train of thought, kind of. I've never done it. I've had it done to me, but it is a mess because you do not think in like the way that I'm talking right now. There's a whole bunch of other shit happening.
Yeah. You have
It's not like listening to a script.
Yeah. You don't like tap into the speech part of their brain. You tap into all the ideas that are floating in there, and then you just get the stream of ideas.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, wait, what?
Yeah. And can you wiretap somebody's vision? Unknown. I don't personally know whether that's like an evolved state of this empathic ability.
So is touch like easiest?
Touch and location of your own body are the easiest by a lot.
Okay.
Other things like hearing, kind of, sort of doable a little bit. It's like listening to somebody who recorded through a sock when you're listening through the wall. Where you can get like vocal gestures and stuff, but it's a mess.
Yeah. Okay.
It's hard. At the very least, none of us have sucked sucked little enough to do it with any kind of like choice consistency.
Is there any kind of hierarchy on the other senses? Like smell.
Never even attempted smell. I don't think anybody ever even tried that.
So there's no smell or taste testing.
Some people have done taste. Yes.
Okay, so taste is like below sound, or like easier than sound.
Taste is easier than sound, but not by that much.
Okay.
You can get like broad strokes, but like pulling the aromatics out of something. Like vanilla would probably suck, because vanilla is all aromatics.
Okay. So that means that, well, is there a much of a difference between like sense of where your body is and touch, or are those basically about the same level of?
Those are basically
challenge?
about the same.
Okay.
I would say that sense of where your body is like. No, See, I learned how to do that when I was like 15, so
Yeah.
It's been half of my life.
Yeah.
Fuck, it's been half of my life. What am I doing with myself?
yeah. Look, turn and stare at the board for a minute and just think about it.
Lol, fedora nigga.
All right. Here's my fedora impression. There you go.
That was a smooth move.
You go, no, do it again and go on a rant about Christianity.
Do you want to do that? Because I could. I'm a theology boy.
No, it's been like
No,
2
no.
hours. God.
No, it's a separate. That's a separate thing.
That's a separate thing. Yeah, it's kind of not, but it is a separate thing.
Yeah. Everyone's vague. Everyone's got something right.
We'll get into it. Whatever.
Statistically.
Not actually true. The Aztecs were full of shit.
Well, I mean, sure, yeah. I mean, statistically, there's also someone that's fully wrong. But
Yeah.
if you guess 1,000 rules, you're probably gonna get something right.
Or like close enough that you're just gonna slur it to be right.
Yeah,
Like
you-
it rounds up rather than down.
Yeah, it's lawyer moves.
Yeah. All right. Who do we still have in the chat even?
We've got 8 people.
Okay.
No just joined. What's up?
Hey.
Wow.
Hello.
Right at the tail end.
We're watching a lecture on
Seminar.
Seminar.
It's a seminar because it's highly interactive. My presentation portion is over and we are just in question and answer, as we have been for 50 minutes.
Yeah, about.
All right.
Does anyone who has been here the whole time have a question?
Yeah.
I'm looking at this fucking whiteboard. All the metrics they have, it's fucking Rick and Morty, Predator, Sonic, and what?
The Predator.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's a diagram of what we've been learning.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a clear progression.
There's gonna be a video about it.
You'll watch the video form. You'll be fine.
Yeah, we're recording it on a camcorder.
Yeah. There's a real camera over that way.
Anyway, so does anyone who has been here the whole time have a question?
Yeah.
I don't.
Yes.
Okay. I've been thinking about this for a while, but how do I become a furry? Serious question.
Play Sly Cooper.
All right.
And think about Carmelita.
If you mean it
Done.
for real, then the actual answer is to consume furry art and exist in furry spaces.
And convert yourself.
And like, when you get to the level with furries that I got to with ponies, where I like scroll past an icon, think, oh, that guy's got a beard, then scroll up and realize it's a pony, then that's when you cross the threshold, and like you're beyond the event horizon, and there is nothing but downwards into furry.
Yeah. You need to be able. You need to completely take it as like natural. You need to fully immerse yourself in the culture.
If you think that like there's no story you can't tell with furries, like if there's nothing that's like out of spec for what a furry is, like
Like you could watch a furry's version of like Schindler's List and take it seriously.
Yes.
Yeah.
When you're at that level, you are complete furry.
I mean, he'll charge you if you want a spirit reading. He'll tell you just to make sure, but
I feel like I'm grifting people when I do that.
I mean, hey, it's a service.
If I really want that,
Yeah. On the other hand,
it's just a passive thought.
if you want to become an Otherkin, what you need to do is like open your senses just enough so that you can tune into this shit, like the other anatomy, and then like mistake it for something more significant than it is, and not think that it's just something that everyone in the world has. Because that's the other thing. That, like, I got this out of the way at the beginning, but just to catch everybody up to speed, an Otherkin is usually somebody who is aware of the spirit body that does not match their flesh and blood body, but thinks that it is something more that is unique or something like that. When in fact,
it's more meaningful than it just simply existing.
Right. And when in fact it is just something that everyone has.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, do Otherkin believe that they're the only people who have this shit and other people don't?
They believe
Do
that...
Otherkin believe
Oh,
in
do you
normies?
think, do Otherkin believe that, like, normies just, like, aren't in tune with it?
They usually believe that you are either born one or you are not one, but you can discover it in a process called awakening.
Wow, that
with
is
a capital A.
Wow, that is an Aryan race fucking.
So it
takeover,
is,
right?
yeah. So it is a protagonist of Earth thing. Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
it's like a player characters, non-player characters kind of deal.
Damn.
Most Otherkin tend to, in their regular lives, just incorporate some like closeness to nature. They'll usually have a compulsion to do some particular behaviors that they will attribute to their kin type, and then they're just like living their lives, man. Like, it usually is not an interference, because again, even though this is a belief that they are kind of wrong about, most of them are not crazy. Because this is real. It is just not what they think it is.
No, they're not crazy. They're just stupid.
Like Christians.
Yeah.
I resemble that remark.
Mm.
All right.
Is God real?
Yes.
That's different though. Is that different though?
That is a...
Because then that would be an intelligence that isn't evil, unless you're saying God is evil, like hard line.
Which
I mean-
is probably true.
No, God's just a... If you remember the Old Testament, God's just a prick. Jesus is cool.
If the theology seminar is a different seminar and on a different day.
Yeah. But that's separate. That's not like observed science.
Also wrong.
In this bit. That's different than this.
There's I have not run into any disagreement with this.
Okay.
Oh, are we running low on space?
No.
Okay.
We got 4 hours and 35 minutes if you got that in, yeah.
Yeah,
I
sure.
don't think we do. I don't think I do.
I personally have the stamina, but no one else does. So
Well, yeah, you
let's
have-
get some more questions.
I have all my questions answered.
Okay.
Okay.
How about, we can take like 3 more. I'll do 3 more because I have to stand near the camera.
I mean, you don't have to. You could sit down.
Yeah, but I've been working it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
So,
right.
any follow-up questions from anybody? There's 3 left to claim.
Something like, is there something from anime that you want to know whether it's real or not?
Is the digital world from Digimon real?
No.
Damn it.
Cool.
Is spiral power real?
I feel like it
See,
might
I've
be.
only just watched Gurren Lagann like in the last couple of days, so give me a
Yeah,
while.
we literally
Yeah.
Tarbuck's first experience with Gurren Lagann was that we watched the first movie 2 days ago, and we watched the second movie last night.
Yeah, I mean,
Awesome.
you do have like a battery of juice you can call on to do stuff with. You can get tired, and like you have the Corona, which is full of like your free overflow stuff. Then if you spend all of that, then you're burning the stuff that's keeping you awake, and presumably if you go past that, then you're burning the stuff that keeps you alive. But we're not really sure.
So maybe it's tentative.
So what I'm saying is, Yu Yu Hakusho, true to life.
Yes!
Exactly.
Yeah.
You think the author of Yu Yu Hakusho is in on this?
This is a bit of a stupid question, but can you like astral project like your body, like no, not your body, your soul and mind into like the internet and leave your physical form completely forever?
That would be
Like
cool.
make your computer.
You mean like escape into the Wired, or like be a Ghost in the Shell?
Yeah.
Like Information Stupor Highway or whatever that episode of Fairly Odd Parents was called.
Yeah.
Where Timmy has to get that embarrassing email before it sends to Trixie or whatever.
So that was what that episode was about. Oh
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
I forgot that part.
Yep.
But almost certainly no. I won't say definitely no, just because we haven't like poked at that, but almost certainly no. That does not seem like a reasonable thing to do.
That sounds like kill yourself material, right there.
Yes, because remember, this is you in the way that your brain is you. So
yeah,
if you disconnect this from your body, you probably die.
Yeah, it sounds as likely to kill you as it would be if you were to take a broadband Ethernet jack from the road, dig it up, and then plug it into your real brain and see if you can just beam the rest of you out before you die.
Yeah. The spirit is durable. You can do some crazy damage shit to the spirit body, and it will just grow back in a couple of days, depending on how much damage it was. In fact,
does your diet help?
No.
Okay.
When you encounter something that is able to hurt you that doesn't heal in like a minute or two, that's scary shit because that's really rare. Because we eventually did get to that point with some people, like we discovered some techniques of how to do that, and then
so like each other?
Yes, and then just like disavow. That is bad, don't do it.
Yeah, that was going full Soul Society for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, carbonadium. It's like it's what the metal that Omega Red is covered in, and it can seal healing factor. So he can kill Wolverine and Deadpool.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah.
One more question from the audience.
One.
Give it to the Discord boys. What do you want?
Why are you gay?
With this knowledge that you have given us
Yes.
today, can we become My Little Ponies from My Little Pony? I was just thinking smart ponies. And what is smart pony?
Yeah, can we go smart? Can we go smart pony?
What's Smart Pony?
Don't worry about it.
This isn't. No.
Oh.
Oh,
Bad end.
Is there hope for us?
Alright, so, as the poniest boy.
This is definitely something that he's looked into.
Brainwash.
As the poniest boy in Amlo Chat, this would be where I go crazy and like spiral off if I were to like really dig down into that. If I allow myself to go fall down into that place,
I'll never come back.
Yeah.
Well, what point is there living if I can't be a smart pony? God
I
damn
want a finger pinky pie, god damn it.
Yeah, that's all I want.
I think that's a good place to end.
yeah, because, and remember, nothing that is intelligent that we found out there doesn't want to ruin your day. Everything that's intelligent out there that we've encountered, like in our free travel, wants to ruin your day.
So stuff has attacked you or like bothered you significantly. Has anything tried to like do lethal damage?
Yes.
Okay.
I think Small Boy just nailed it on the head. Friendship is not, in fact, magic.
Yeah.
Correct.
That are magic don't want to be friends with you.
Except literally, friendship is magic.
Literally, friendship is magic. We like the threads and all of that.
But magic is not inherently friendship.
Magic is not inherently friendship. There we go.
Okay,
That's the
gotcha.
true insight.
All right.
Genius.
All right. I'm a smart pony. I'm gonna turn the camera off.
All right.
Everybody, give him a round of applause. You fucking goofball.
There'll be more of these soon. I'm excited.
What is there even more to do? Like this should have been.
No, not about this specific subject, but like about other subjects that other people are.
Tell us brony things, because I'm...
You don't need a brony. Why do you need a brony lecture? You already watched the whole show and we're a fan for like 5 years.
Bye, bitch.
So the more that I thought about that seminar afterwards, it's been a couple of days now, and I'm obviously back home too. The more I thought about it, the more I thought, like, I mean, it didn't have no effect on my life. It didn't, like, besides being able to find my keys when I lose them, there are other things that I got out of exploring this part of the world and learning about it and all of that. Even though I lost a lot of friends along the way, because they all went insane. It had a pretty positive impact on my overall outlook and how I treat the world. Like, a big portion of my inner peace, my ability to just go with stuff, came out of this. Because when you encounter the fact that this stuff is real, what do you do with that? Well, one of the things is, if this is true, that means everything's on the table. There's nothing that's categorically excluded, because just for how wacky it is, which means that you have to be skeptical in the real way. It doesn't mean just doubt everything. It means, like, think about and investigate the things that are presented to you, and, like, evaluate everything as though it were, like, to see how possible it is, and not just to dismiss things out of hand just because they sound ridiculous to you. Anything could be true, even if it sounds silly. So, but not everything is true, obviously. Like, we disproved a lot of stuff there, too. You really have to do the work to find out what is and is not real. And it also kind of made me at peace with the unexpected. When some of this stuff gets revealed and it has a negative influence on your life because of some creepy crawlies out in the deep black, that just happens sometimes, and it's not something that you can really plan for because you don't know what's out there. But you can build your skills, and you can make your foundation sturdy so that you're able to deal with it when it does come up, no matter what it is that comes up. And you need to be able to respond calmly to these things and maintain as much control over yourself and the world around you as you actually could have at max. There are limits to the amount of this, like, things in the world that you can control, but that doesn't mean that you are powerless. You can affect yourself, and you can affect what you're prepared for, and I'm kind of going in circles. So in a way, it made me peaceful and sturdy and skeptical, but open-minded. I don't think that's a bad thing. Even if you believe that, like you see all of this and you think that it's just a big LARP and stuff, and I'm taking the piss and all of that, the effect on my attitude is indisputable. You know, like, that part is incontestably real. Speaking of things that aren't real, the other thing that this did to improve my life in a roundabout way is it became the basis for, like, a game that a friend is developing that I'm kind of helping with. Why not make the magic system in a game like a tabletop RPG, like Dungeons and Dragons, but not, because Dungeons and Dragons is the worst. Why not use the stuff that we know about real life to influence fiction and the game and stuff like that? Because it would come out different than anything else, and it would be cool. It's cool when things in a game line up with real life, for the same reason that it's cool when things in anime line up with real life. Like, that was a large portion of the seminar is answering stuff like that, and for good reason. That's what catches people's interest. So, it's been shelved for a little while, but hopefully I can motivate friends of mine who were mentioned in the seminar, but probably don't really want to be named explicitly in something this, like, public, particularly before the game drops. But yeah, hopefully that'll get published at some point.